Welcome to r/RedditRevenge. This is a story of someone getting back at someone with revenge after being wronged. And today we have 3 great stories, so subscribe, hit the like button, and let's begin. The first story. Mechanic wanted to deceive me, but he did not expect that I know more about cars than he does. The second story. Entitled Jerks turned out to be a hotel employee. He lost his rewards account and got fired. The third story. Owner of the van always took my friend's place. She reported several violations, and he could not get a new registration. The first story is, Mechanic tries to scam me, receives public embarrassment in return. I, 26 female, do not look like I would know a single thing about cars. 5'3" with long blonde hair, soft girly appearance, and an eternal baby face that makes me look about 15 to 16 years old. I drive a rather beat up looking 2004 Avalon. My dad and brother are both mechanics. Not my profession, but I've learned a thing or 7 from them and am very comfortable working on cars. I'm only mentioning my appearance because it's pretty common for mechanics to assume that I'm an idiot about cars. A while back I was pretty overwhelmed with life, and didn't have a good space to do it, so I took my car in to get the oil changed. The place offered a free change head-to-toe inspection for any repairs that might need to be made. I knew my car was fine. I had pretty recently changed the air filter and brake pads. Rotors had maybe 40k miles on them and were in great condition. New serpentine belt too. Literally just didn't feel like changing my oil. Relevant notes. Before I went to the shop, I actually checked my air filter and it was in fact pristine. Also, I usually call my dad while I'm working on my car, so we can chat, so he knows what repairs and maintenance I've done and that my car is well taken care of. After they changed my oil, the guy came back with the inspection results on a clipboard and was holding my air filter. He had this grave look on his face like something was wrong. Mind you, this is a very busy place, and there were lots of customers in the waiting room. He told me that we needed to go over the results because my car was about to be completely broken down, and also not safe to drive if I didn't get several repairs done ASAP, because these were all completely shot. The repairs: new brake pads, new rotors, new calipers, replaced serpentine and drive belt, new air filter, new compressor or my AC will not work, a heavy threat in the middle of summer in Florida, and a couple more generic things. He showed me my air filter that was filled with dead grass, a dead wasp, some dirt and hair. Bruh. He really scooped some BS off the shop floor and put in my new air filter to try and freak me out. The total? About $1,500 worth of work. It would be more expensive anywhere else, but he was willing to give me a deal. So I immediately start buying myself time by asking some basic questions that I knew he would have to explain, so I could nod at him all wide-eyed while I came up with a good way to respond to what he was doing. What does the serpentine belt do? Is it important, etc.? I texted my dad, "I'm calling in just a sec, play along." Told the guy, "OMG, that's so scary, I can't believe I was driving around like that. Thank you so much for caring. I don't have the money, so let me call my dad real quick to see if he can help me out. I can't afford this." I then proceeded to enhance my dramatic performance by even working up a tear while I called my dad. The guy's standing there with me in front of all the customers. I put my phone on speaker and gave my dad a whole sob story about how I need money again. "I'm so sorry, can he help me?" He asked what repairs were and how much. I said, "I don't know, but it sounds really bad. He says that it's dangerous. Dad, I can't be without a car. What am I going to do?" Then I asked the guy to tell my dad what the repairs were. He rattles it all off and my dad is playing his part perfectly. "Oh wow, oh my goodness, I'm glad you caught this. So she's not in danger anymore." Little did this scammer know he was the one in danger. He hands the phone back and I drop the facade and start laughing really hard. As soon as Dad hears me, he started screaming, cackling into the phone. I said, "Dad, do you hear this BS? Get this. He brought me my new air filter. I just put in to show me how dirty it was. He pulled SH off the floor or something and rubbed it on there." Dad and I continued to crack up. The audience in the waiting room was also cracking up. Scammy McCanny was beat red and completely at a loss for words. Head down and some stuttering was his response. I handed him my air filter and told him to go vacuum it out, and to make sure to let me see it before he put it back in. I sat and watched him put it back once it was clean, and also watched him pull my car out to make sure he didn't do anything horrible while I wasn't looking. I might have taken it a little far, but I really hate when mechanics take advantage of people who don't know anything about cars, so this felt like a massive win. Big props to my dad for his performance, and for teaching me about cars. The next story is, Make my coworkers cry, I'll help karma turn your life upside down. Backstory. I worked at this hotel for over 2 years and was one of 2 people left that went through the training when our hotel changed hotel franchises. During this training, we were told about certain rules the company had. Cast, manager, front desk manager. He only was here for 4 to 6 months at this point. Me. I'm a nice guy unless you're a bully or entitled person. A few others I'll mention as we go through. Story. One afternoon I was scheduled to work second shift 3 to 11. I walked in and both AM front desk coworkers looked like they had been massively crying as their makeup was smeared. My manager looked quite peeved. I asked what's wrong. Manager. We have a major jerk as a guest. This guy is the highest level on the rewards for the hotel chain. He's very demanding and wants free upgrades, free this or that, and screams anytime he has an interaction with the staff. This guy has made every department call me complaining about him. Now this guy just came to the desk and screamed at these two coworkers until they both were crying. These two ladies were fresh high school graduates and were very sweet and innocent people. They loved helping people and didn't deserve this treatment. As he's explaining this, I look up the guy's room details. Once my manager finishes explaining everything this guy's done, I see this guy's info. I had a smile from ear to ear. I reply, didn't you see he's an employee of a different hotel? Manager, yes, but so what? I replied, first off, while you travel as an employee, you're required to behave and be respectful. It's in the fine print on the discount form. I grabbed his form and showed it to the manager. Failure to be respectful can lead to having your employee discount suspended or permanently revoked, and even get you terminated. You need to call this guy's hotel and ask for the GM, then explain to him who you are and what this guy's doing. I look up the hotel phone number and call the hotel, and then handed my manager the phone. Manager, after his call ends with the GM, he has an evil and satisfying smile on his face. His GM is steaming mad after I described all the stuff this guy's done. Main switchboard phone rings. I answered, hello, thank you for calling hotel name. How may I direct your call? Caller, I want to speak to entitled jerk's room, please. I replied, absolutely sir, have a nice day. Transferred the call and looked at my manager and sang with a sarcastic tone, someone wanted to talk to entitled jerk. Gee, I wonder who that could be. Manager continues after he stopped laughing. The GM gave me his personal cell phone number and said if I have any more issues at all to call him immediately. I'm leaving the phone number next to the switchboard. If you need it, call him. I told manager, your revenge is done. Now for my revenge. Manager wide-eyed, oh crap, what are you gonna do? Me smiling a very evil smile. You'll see. I pick up the phone to make a call. Hello, Hotel Rewards customer service. Yes, I'd like to report someone using reward account while using employee discount on his stay. Customer service. He can't do that. I replied, I know, I'm calling to report him. I gave her the guest reservation number and rewards member number. I continued, I bet anything if you dig through this guy's history, you'll find all his stays are probably at employee discount. Customer service. I'm starting a ticket to have this guy's account investigated. I replied, thank you, then hang up the phone. The manager watched as I then remove his rewards number from his stay. My manager had a huge grin on his face. That was awesome. I explained, oh, I'm not quite finished with him yet. It's time to go spread the news to all departments he's no longer a rewards member. I made a new key for his room without concierge access. I walked around every department. As I explained why I was stopping by, everyone had the same reaction as soon as I mentioned the guy's name. Oh god, now what about this a-hole? I finished explaining how he was no longer a reward member, and if he gives anyone issues to call the front desk immediately, and his GM already probably tore him a new one just a minute ago. Everyone was so happy at this news. I finally went to the concierge room, used the guest's new key to void his current key. Then I walked into the room and explained the information to the evening concierge. She cringed at the mention of his name. After explaining she would not have to deal with him again, and asked her to leave the morning person a note about this guy not allowed in the concierge room anymore. She was very happy. While I was gone, evidently the manager explained what we did to the 2 a.m. front desk ladies. The minute I got back to the desk, both my front desk coworkers all came up to me and gave me a huge hug, and thanked me so many times. Manager to me after the other coworkers went home, do me a huge favor please. I replied, sure, what's up? Manager, if I ever peeve you off, please come tell me so I can fix the issue. Later that night, entitled jerk comes to the desk hat in hand politely saying his key doesn't work. I replied, oh so sorry about that, let me make you a new key. In the best fake smile I can muster. Aftermath. Next day I check his rewards account and it's now suspended. Check back next week. Sorry, account number not found. The last story is the tale of the food trucks. This is not my tale. This is the tale of a friend of mine. Sarah, not a real name, had her hands in many different money-making activities over the years. She did freelance work in the entertainment and media industry. She wrote a couple of books, was in a band, did some photography, was a guest teacher at a TAFE. US equivalent would be a community college. Was a netball coach and even sold Tupperware. But for the purposes of this story, we will be concentrating on her food truck. In Australia, whenever there's a big community event happening, like market stalls or a fair, you'll inevitably see a variety of food trucks present. to provide the food and beverages that attendees would need. Sometimes you'll have events that are literally just food trucks, and you can have all sorts of different foods on the food trucks. Pizza, Thai, Chinese, hamburgers, American, German, souvlaki, Turkish, you name it. It's been on a food truck. Sarah's food truck specialized in American-style ribs, with American soft drinks for sale, like Dr. Pepper, A&W, etc. One year, Sarah decided to set up her food truck at a once-a-year community market. After paying the site fee, Sarah was given her position. She got there nice and early on the day of the community market, parked the trailer in place, and then went to put her car in the car park. By the time she walked back, someone had attached their car to her trailer and was moving it into another location, less desirable than where she was. Sarah complained, but the person, we'll call him Harry, said tough luck. If Sarah had gone to get her car and drive back, Harry would have had his trailer in place, so it not have been worth it. Instead, Sarah rang one of the organizers of the community market. The organizer of the community market came to Sarah's trailer, and together they looked at the map of the location and saw that Harry had pushed Sarah's trailer into the position he should have been in. The organizer and Sarah went to Harry's trailer and spoke to Harry, who refused to move, saying that he paid for this spot and always has this spot. In previous years, Harry was in that spot. There wasn't much else that the organizer could do, so Sarah went back to her trailer and started preparing her ribs. The following year, Sarah was extra prepared. She'd been allocated the same spot again. She had a friend drive to the community market with her, even earlier than before, to stop anyone from trying to move her trailer. However, this time Harry was already there and had his trailer already set up, so Sarah complained to the organizer again, and once again Harry refused to move. Harry later laughed at Sarah and said something along the lines of, "Don't mess with me, girlie. I'm untouchable here, and I'll always beat you no matter what you try." Harry had a bit of an accent, but that is what Sarah thinks she heard, or something similar. It's now the third year and Sarah gets there at 5 a.m. No sign of Harry anywhere. She parks in her allocated spot, which was even better than the previous years. She sets up her trailer, starts preparing her ribs, no sign of Harry. Other people are arriving. Market stalls are being set up, no sign of Harry. The market's open and no sign of Harry. Until later in the afternoon where Harry comes up to Sarah's trailer and says "you be" to her and walks off. Sarah had a smile on her face as Harry disappeared into the distance. Now what exactly happened? Every year you have to pay for your food truck to be certified for the production of food. And if you go across different council areas, you have to be certified in each council area. Inspections of your food truck can and do happen to make sure you're adhering to food handling and hygiene laws. And because most food trucks are on trailers, the food truck has to be registered as a roadworthy vehicle. After the second year, Sarah made an anonymous call to report a couple of minor food safety breaches she had noticed in Harry's truck. And upon investigation, Harry had to upgrade the kitchen in his food truck to meet the necessary standards to get the certification. As a flow onto this, when the work was being done for the kitchen, rust was discovered in the frame of the trailer, and thus would not be able to receive a new registration until this was remedied. How did Sarah find out about this? Harry complained to the organizer, who then told Sarah. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and have a wonderful day.